The day is September 2nd, 2022.
Cyber attack against telecommunications giant Optus.
Biggest attack happened again. Go again.
Now, Optus customer details from the hack of the telco are beginning to hit the internet.
This massive hack of data. Let's talk first of all on what this hack means for you, the customer, and Australia, and I guess our general preparedness.
Optus has been hacked. Millions of people along with it, and everyone is panicking. I am not panicking though. Why? Because I'm not with Optus. I kinda dodged the bullet there. And it's pretty unexpected that I dodged this bullet, as around 30% of all people in Australia have Optus. So, the hacker with the screen name of Optus Data held the info for a ransom of $1 million United States dollars, while also putting out tens of thousands of people's info and then later backed down. And they said that Optus, a $1 billion company, doesn't even have bug bounties. For everyone that doesn't know, a bug bounty is a reward offered to a person who identifies an error or vulnerability in a computer program or system. And for a telecommunications company not to have them is just insanity. And it's not just the people upset, the government is upset too, as ever since the Optus hack, the Albanese government has prepared amendments to the Telecommunications Regulations 2021 to better protect Australians following the Optus data breach. The government will recommend to the Governor-General that the regulations be amended to allow Optus and other telcos to better coordinate with financial institutions, the Commonwealth and states and territories to detect and mitigate the risks of cybersecurity incidents, frauds, scams, and other malicious cyber activities. Which sure is a step in the right direction, and I am shocked that it wasn't this way before this. And also, the amendments will enable telecommunications companies to temporarily share approved government identifier information, such as driver license, Medicare, and passport numbers of affected customers, with regulated financial services entities to allow them to implement enhanced monitoring and safeguards for customers affected by this data breach. In addition, Optus will be able to share identifiers to assist Commonwealth and state and territory agencies to detect and assist in preventing fraud. You might be wondering though, how does Optus get all this info on their customers? Well, about 10 years ago, the Australian government required you to have an ID to buy a SIM card, and it had to be recorded. I believe you could use other forms of ID like a Medicare card if you didn't have a license. It has since stopped, but I'm sure why there's so much data to be taken. The proposed regulations have been carefully designed with strong privacy and security safeguards to ensure that only limited information can be made available for certain purposes. Specifically, the regulations cover financial institutions that are regulated by APRA, excluding branches of foreign banks. But who is APRA, you might be asking? Well, APRA is the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority. They're a statutory authority of the Australian government and the prudential regulator of the Australian financial services industry. APRA was established on the 1st of July 1998 in response to recommendations of the Wallace Inquiry. Well, what was the Wallace Inquiry? From what I could find, the Wallace Committee recommended that regulation of ownership banks and insurance companies should be streamlined by enacting a single Acquisitions Act covering all regulated financial institutions. Anyway, let's get back on track. The Communications Minister has the ability to specify additional service entities, if required, but not only for entities that are related to or sport. A APRA regulated entity. Information can only be used for sole purposes of preventing or responding to cybersecurity incidents, fraud, scam activity, or identity theft. Entities that wish to receive their data must also provide written commitments to ACCC that they will comply with their obligations under the Privacy Act of 1998, attest to APRA that they meet the relevant information security standards, and confirm in writing that the information they are seeking is necessary and proportionate. You might also be wondering, who is the ACCC? The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, of course. What do they do though? The ACCC is the chief competition regulator of the Government of Australia, located within the Department of the Treasury. And you might also be wondering what's inside the Privacy Act of 1998. The Privacy Act of 1998 was introduced to promote and protect the privacy of individuals and to regulate how Australian government agencies and organisations with an annual turnover of more than $3 million and some other organisations handle personal information. Alright, next, regulations. Approved recipients must satisfy robust information security requirements and protocols for any transfer and storage of data. Information received must be destroyed once it is no longer required. Okay, that's actually a good move. In addition, the Council of Financial Regulators Cybersecurity Working Group will examine and report on options to further improve the ability of financial institutions to identify at-risk customers and credentials by utilizing an existing secure and privacy-protecting data sharing platform. Good. To enable financial institutions to further enhance their protections for consumers from financial crime. In developing this approach, the government has undertaken extensive consultation across Commonwealth agencies, financial system regulators, Optus, the banking sector, major telecommunications providers, and the Australian Information Commissioner. The financial regulators have taken additional steps to protect customers, including through the ACCC's Scam Watch and direct engagement with financial institutions. Financial institutions have also been proactive in response to this data breach, including through implementing heightened controls on those accounts identified as higher risk. And this is actually some pretty good stuff to do. This is a pretty important change, and I think it's a change that needs to happen. Especially for a company that was hacked this easily. It's something that just shouldn't happen to a $1 billion company, let alone a telecommunication company. I'm honestly glad I'm not with Optus. Oh, this video hasn't reached 1,000 words? Well, let's fill it with extra words. Shadow, dice, run, rock, V, acid. Hello, I am Crash Burn Overdrive, and I challenge you to a hack off. A hack off? You're gonna regret challenging me!